Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Faisal Raza Khan and you are watching Foresight. Viewers, Pakistan's maritime ecosystem is facing unprecedented threats from overfishing and pollution to climate change and unhealthy coastal developments. In a bid to conserve our precious marine heritage, Balochistan government has taken an overwhelming decision by declaring Churna Island as the country's second marine protected area after Astola Island. Churna is comparatively a small island of 1.2 kilometer long and 0.5 kilometer in width. Located in Arabian Sea, approximately 6 kilometers from the Mubarak village, Kemadi town in Karachi, and about 9 kilometers west of the mouth of Hub River in Balochistan. Churna Island is one of the most important biodiversity hotspots along with the coast of Pakistan, which warranted to be the protected area. We will try to examine the potential economic benefits, the impact on conservation efforts, and the crucial role of national and international cooperation in ensuring the success of this decision of declaring Churna as a protected area. We are going to explore the motivations behind this decision, long-term goals and the challenges in implementation. We will discuss the measures being taken to enforce the decision, promote eco-tourism, scientific research, green economy, prevent overfishing, worst effects of pollution and the climate change on marine biodiversity, especially on precious coral reefs, fisheries, and other endangered species. To discuss this very important matter, we have in our studios Dr. Ejaz Ahmad. He is the senior environmentalist. Most welcome to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And with him, Dr. Fasiha Safdar. She is expert marine environment at the National Institute of Maritime Affairs, NEMA. Most welcome to you, Dr. Sahaba. Thank you very much. And online, first of all, joining us, Mr. Sharifuddin Baloch. He is the Chief Conservator, Wildlife, Forest and Wildlife Department, Government of Balochistan. Most welcome to you, Sharif sir. Thank you very much for joining us. And my first question is to you, Sharifuddin Baloch sahab, that what was the actual motivation behind the Balochistan government's decision to declare Churna Island as the second maritime protected area after the Astola Island? What are the long-term goals and how this decision will contribute to Pakistan's overall maritime conservation efforts?
Once again, sir, thank you very much. Sharifuddin Baloch, Chief Conservator Wildlife here. I am thankful to PTV channel for inviting me and providing me this opportunity to share my views over declaration of Churna Island as second marine protected area of Pakistan under the provisions of Balochistan Wildlife Protection, Preservation, Conservation and Management Act 2014. Sir, as earlier you described that Churna is an biodiversity hotspot area for many kinds of species. After declaring Astola Island as the first marine protected area of Pakistan in 2017, at that time it was our goal to declare Churna as also a marine protected area of Pakistan. For that purpose, we conducted consultative meetings with the custodian communities residing on the coast near to Churna Island in 2019, and further these all things we took all these things forward, and it was a very honor. It is an honor for Balochistan that after Astola we declared second marine protected area of Churna as our second marine protected area. Under the provisions of, sir, as earlier I said, Wildlife Act 2014, the corals, the marine life stations are all protected animals and they are kept in Schedule 3 of the Act. And it is our motivation, it is also our obligation to protect all these biodiversity present in sea of Churna Island. And Further, Pakistan is signatory to many multi-environmental agreements, one of which is CBD Convention on Biological Diversity. Under provisions of that agreement, it is binding on states to notify or bring under the umbrella of protected areas 30% of its ocean or marine areas for conservation of their biodiversity. So this was our basic goal, and you can say motivation, and in this way we achieved this our goal by declaring Churna as second marine protected area of Pakistan.
So, very well said, very well said. So, Sharifuddin Baloch sahab, what are the challenges in implementation? What measures being taken to enforce this decision, preventing the overfishing, unprotected marine tourism, then extreme pollution, human and commercial activities, especially in and around Churna Island, whether any sort of a no objection certificates or will some permit be needed, mandatory, or it made mandatory to have eco-friendly activities in the protected areas, because that is the overall benchmark, and might be that those decisions would be taken to enforce this decision in letter and spirit.
Yes, sir. Very rightly you said earlier, before declaration of this as a marine protected area, it was an open area, and it is very near to Karachi. The people unfriendly tourism. They most of time they used to come there, and they uncontrolled, you can say, tourism was happening there. It was not under any regime of protected areas. Now, after its declaration, it comes under the provisions of the Balochistan Wildlife Act 2014 and declared as conservation area under section 46. So every unfriendly which will disturb, which damage this delicate biodiversity of Churna Island, it will be regulated and dealt under the provisions of the Wildlife Act. We will support, sir. Certainly, ecotourism is an management tool under our provisions of the Act and also Government of Balochistan Rules of Business 2012. It is allowed. Ecotourism is allowed, and we support this because in this way the livelihood of the custodian communities will be improved. The people who are
Sharifuddin Baloch sahab, whether the people who are interested in some sort of a maritime sports, tourism, in fishing or anything else, like scuba diving or some sort of lots of other sports which were very much familiar and famous among the Karachiites especially. So they have to take initial permission from the Balochistan government, or what would be the mechanism?
Yes, sir. Rightly, sir. We will establish our field station on near the coast of Churna, and everything will be regulated under the provisions of the Act. And we will support the ecotourism there. The tour operators who operate from Karachi, we will try to register them. We will try to contact them. They must get some kind of permit, and after registering themselves and taking the eco-friendly tourist there for any kind of sports related to sea waters, but they will not damage the biodiversity of Churna Island, like corals, and there are reports about basking of whales and other dolphins. They used to come near the waters of Churna Island. Everything will be regulated, and there are certain passes and NOCs in our act. Inshallah, we will use them for the biodiversity, for the protection of the biodiversity of Churna Island.
Okay. So one last question, sir. Is it correct that Churna Island hosts at least 55 coral species alone and some 250 varieties of the fisheries? If it is so, how the Balochistan government decision will ultimately help conservation efforts at the Churna Island and to make its marine environment more eco-friendly, for the natural habitat, especially the endangered species like green turtle, like some other just whale shark and something like that, because those are in danger because of the human activities and the commercial activities as well.
Sir, after its declaration, now it came under the regime of protected areas, and every activity is covered under the Wildlife Act 2014. There are reports about 55 coral species and 250 varieties of fisheries. Earlier, Worldwide Fund for Pakistan, Karachi office, and Karachi University, and other organizations also conducted their research. They generated reports about the corals and other marine biodiversity of Churna Island. After declaration of, now it is a mandate of Balochistan Forest and Wildlife Department. First of all, we will develop a management plan for its management, and also will support, and we will conduct our initial surveys and other we will try to investigate to the biodiversity of Churna Island. Sir, yes, we will support, and there are reports. We will appreciate the efforts of the international NGOs like WWF Pakistan, IUCN, and Karachi University, and also other organizations. Already they did report, they generated surveys and reports. Further now, again, we will support, we will do our best from our own resources. We will develop their offices to regulate, to monitor each and every activity in Churna, and also initiate scientific research for its biodiversity.
So thank you very much, Sharifuddin Baloch sahab, for being with us online, and you have spared time. Thank you very much. So nice of you, and very healthy and well-placed facts. Thank you. So nice of you. Dr. Ejaz sahab, what are the potential economic benefits of this marine protected area designation, and what efforts would be employed to promote ecotourism and water sports, and how this protected area will benefit, as rightly said by Sharifuddin Baloch sahab, the scientific research and monitoring process of this whole decision, which was very well taken by the Balochistan cabinet.
Thank you again. I think this is a wonderful initiative, in a sense that not only we are protecting an ecosystem. We have more than 1,000 kilometer coastal belt, and unfortunately, we are not using those resources in a positive manner. We are throwing all the garbage into the coastal areas, and Karachi's solid waste and all the
over the years we have unfortunately neglected the marine resources in the
but
marine
this is
area.
a good, I think, initiative, in a sense that we are protecting, we are thinking to protect our environment, and especially the marine environment. Generally, when we talk about corals and such islands, they are considered as one of the most productive ecosystems,
yes,
because especially the coral reefs are considered as supporting various species of fish or other marine life, and this provide an opportunity to promote ecotourism, because there are millions of people globally who are very keen and interested in visiting different places throughout the world, and see what kind of environment exists in those areas, what kind of species composition. As you mentioned, there are many such species which are considered as megafauna,
definitely
whales,
yes,
dolphins, turtles. So there are many groups which just want to go and see them,
obviously,
and especially those photographers. So I think it will promote ecotourism definitely, in a sense that it is quite close to Karachi, and there are already I was looking at a report which says about 1,000 local tourists they visit on weekly basis. So which I think need to increase to few.
I was watching some of the videos, underwater videos. So I was really fond of to have some sort of scuba diving over there, because it's going to be a really attractive sport, you know, and Pakistan can earn a lot through the coastal and the marine tourism as well.
And I think, as mentioned by the Chief Conservator Sharif Saab, the most important thing which is required is the management plan.
Yes, definitely.
So how you are going to manage this protected area, and what kind of activities which will be allowed, and what will be the SOPs, because they are very important.
Yes.
You know, what happens is that if we see Margala Hills National Park or any park which is close to the city, it actually, you know, like because of visitation, a lot of issues related to pollution, resource depletion occur. So I think there is a need to control that and make it as one of the, you know, like globally recognized protected area. So ecotourism, similarly fishing activities, and then, you know, like there are certain activities which
because
are
we have
dangerous.
seen over the years, like at the Hawke's Bay, at the Sandspit,
Yes.
Especially in Monona Island,
Mubarak Village.
Mubarak Village itself.
yeah.
Then we have lots of other small villages, the fishermen communities. So lots of pollution, and the mangroves are at stake. The people are living in a very unfortunate condition.
Yes.
So this must have to be. Yes,
I would like
please.
to add that
Please.
one of the, I think, issue that need to be looked into. I am not sure. I have not visited that area for quite some time, but the issue of HUBCO, the water, the contamination which is coming.
You're talking about power plants.
Power plants. And that is basically one of the, you know, like concern, that how to manage that.
Definitely, I have a question on that. We'll talk in detail on that. Dr. Fasiha, how will this marine protected area designation impact the conservation efforts of the endangered species, like we have already mentioned the green turtles, whales, dolphins and all others, balance the human needs with the environmental protection, and will be without any impact on local fishermen community, because that is very important.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to give you a brief idea about the objectives of how why the protected areas are set up. So the basic objective of the designation of marine protected areas is to ensure effective protection and conservation of the biodiversity of an area, to create the livelihood benefits for dependent fisherfolk communities as well. So it's not only the preservation of biodiversity and the wildlife, it is also about preserving the interest of the fisherfolk. Secondly, Pakistan is a signatory to the Convention of the Biological Diversity, which obligates Pakistan to conserve 30% of its marine and terrestrial coastal areas by the year 2030, which is known as the 30 and the 30 target. Then Pakistan also has to meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals according to the obligations of the international community, and it focuses on the sustainable use of marine resources as well for the growth of economy and the benefit of the people as well. So the benefit of the local people and the communities is at the center, at the heart of every conservation effort.
That's good.
So as we move forward, we are a maritime nation, and maritime in ideal conditions, a maritime nation should meet 10% of its GDP through the marine products, or the contribution of the marine sector should be 10% to the economy. But unfortunately in Pakistan it's only 0.2%. So there's a huge potential in the areas where fisheries is concerned, tourism is concerned, and some other ecosystems.
Definitely huge potential, but we are lagging behind in that. We have to be more focused on that area.
Yes.
Definitely, you are absolutely right. Your point well taken. Moazzam Sahib, during we start from a historical context. Actually, during British era, the foreigners go to the Churna island for whale shark safaris. So, and unfortunately, most of the times they used to kill them. So, what's the status right now, and did the whale shark population recovered ever since?
Thank you very much for having me in this program. Yes, British expatriate used to be go to this area and used to hunt them, harpoon them, and there used to be a fisheries of whale shark in this area for the local fishermen as well. This fisheries is a very old fishery, rather the oldest record of any fisheries in Pakistan is the hunting of whale shark. There is a record, published record in 1850, which described the whole procedure of killing a whale shark in Pakistan. But with the creation of Pakistan, this particular activity stopped there, but the fishermen continue to do this till 1970. But these fishermen who used to be hunter for this whale shark, now they become savior for it. So with some of the training that we provided, the fisheries department and the WWF provided, the fishermen started to saving the whales. So there are documented record of about 144 cases where the fishermen were able to save an entangled whale shark which was found in some gill nets or any of the gear. In one particular case, there was the animal was so large that it was not possible for that particular vessel to get it released. So 5 of the vessel working in this area, they joined hand together and released it. So the population is recovered, and it's not unusual to see a particular whale shark in the area, and this can become a very important source of ecotourism in the future to be coming. Thank you.
So it is only the case with the whale shark, or the dolphins and the green turtles and all other endangered species are also recovered, their population is recovered in that area?
Yes, in most cases, there are records that most of these animals have recovered, and the best example is the whales. You may be knowing that the Russian whaling fleet has eliminated most of the whales from Pakistani waters in their operation in 1960, and they have killed almost all of them. And one of the species of whale which is found only in the Arabian Sea, which is called the Arabian Sea humpback whale, and its population is very small, less than about 100, found between Oman, Pakistan, Yemen, and India. So it has ultimately recovered, and now we can see this particular whale even in the very near to in the area of Churna Island and some of the other coastal area. So there is recovery is not limited to whale shark, but other megafauna is also recovered.
Point well taken. Moazzam Sahib, what are the findings of the different studies, especially in 2000, which the Sharifuddin Baloch was also referring, the Darwin initiative project that was between WWF Pakistan and Karachi University, identification of the patches of about 55 species of the coral reefs in Astola and Churna Islands, and then Ormara, Gwadar, Jivni, and the coastal zone. So dangers of the coral bleaching, and subsequently the WWF Pakistan appealed to the government in 2020 to declare Churna Island as a marine protected area. So now it is declared on 4th of September. How do you see the conservation efforts, particularly to save very limited but very healthy corals in our coastal region, particularly from the coral bleaching, which is the pollution and all of the causes are there for their destruction, unfortunately?
Thank you very much. The corals is one of the very sensitive animals. They are very highly prone to the change in temperature, change in habitat, or change of any of the activities that are taking place in the area. So the declaration of marine protected area is one of them, for one of the way of saving it. But we have to do a lot of things. So some of the activities which are going in the coral area, especially the coral harvesting for aquarium trade, is going on in the Churna Island. This is one of the things which has to be stopped. In addition, the coral bleaching usually takes place because of the climate change or because of the thermal change in the structure of the area. The hub power plant is there, the other coal power plants is there, their thermal effluents is affecting the temperature regime of the area. So we have to take a lot of actions, including the control on the use of coral for any purpose, the use of some of the fishing gear, which ultimately become ghost fishing, and they cover the corals. So we have to take a lot of action to protect the corals, and that can be done very easily. It has been done in most part of the world also, and Pakistan can learn from them, and we can save our limited coral patches that we have in Pakistan, especially in the healthiest one around the Churna Island and then Stola Island and the other places that you have mentioned.
So, your point well taken. Dr. Fasiha, what are the severe effects of climatic changes, as Moazzam Saab has just mentioned, and rising ocean temperatures, including the thermal effects? As diffs tell us that lots of fish and other species move to the slightly colder regions due to the change in temperature and the marine pollution, affecting corals in the form of bleaching, as mentioned by Moazzam Saab. I know that you have a very important subject, you are focusing a lot on that, and related the biodiversity at the Churna and the other marine regions. So how do you see basically, because these are affecting badly to the marine environment overall and the biodiversity?
So climate change is a global phenomena. But in the scenarios of global warming, marine protected areas have a dual role to play. First role is mitigation, that is to stop the climate change from happening very rapidly because of their ecological services. The waters and the plants species present there, they capture the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and those plants, the terrestrial, they have more potential of capturing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere as compared to the terrestrial ecosystems. So one is the mitigation role. The other is the adaptation role. The marine protected areas give an opportunity to the marine organisms, whether animals or the plants, to shelter in an area where there is minimum human intervention. So in the face of climate change, they do get an opportunity to nestle there and reproduce there and grow without the stresses of the outer world. So it is very important that those marine protected areas are managed very efficiently so that they provide an efficient role in the face of climate change. But as far as the movement of species in the waters is concerned, we have to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions ultimately near the protected areas and in the wider world as well. So as the fight against climate change is ongoing and greenhouse gas reduction is happening at a very motivated speed, we are very optimistic that the temperature rise of the seas would reduce in the future, maybe after 20-30 years. But till then, marine protected areas are a very good management opportunity to conserve the species.
Definitely, you are absolutely right. Dr. Ejaz, how industrial effluents and related marine pollution, transportation, oil refineries, you were talking about the power plants, the harbors, the port areas, local coastal communities, then infrastructure and the marine tourism affected the marine biodiversity, especially along the precious resources like Churna Island?
Well, I think we've seen that in the past the bleaching of corals was observed in the Churna Island, and then we also see that sea has no border in a sense. That,
obviously.
The impact of pollution, again, land-based pollution, actually is very high over a period of time. It accumulates. And as I was talking about, like something which is happening in Karachi, which is very close to the Churna Island, we are throwing 600 to 700 million gallon of untreated water into our sea on a daily basis.
On daily basis.
And
yes.
then in addition to that, and that includes industrial effluents, it includes sewerage water, it includes everything that is.
It's more than 450 million gallons per day?
It is around 450
it is.
million gallons.
Yes.
Maybe, but I think the few years ago it was somewhere close to 600 million gallons. Anyway, I mean, like it's quite huge on regular basis.
But yes, definitely we have 5 site areas, the industrial areas over there in Karachi,
yes.
And lots of cottage industry as well. You have to the transport, then the shipping, then the harbors.
Then Buffalo colony.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
These are actually, like deteriorating the entire ecosystem.
And in whole of the Karachi, only one water treatment plant.
It is there, but how efficient and effective it is, I think we still have to understand.
Definitely, there are lots of questions on that as well.
So all these things are creating ultimately, like issues related to marine coastal ecology as well as marine ecology. And we are talking about blue economy. We are talking about the mangrove forest. But I think this is a good opportunity for all of us.
Yes.
To see how we can protect it. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we need to start developing the management plan and see what kind of practices are strictly banned or it should be banned, and what are those practices which are allowed.
Definitely.
Tourism
You are
can play a very
absolutely
important role in generating income, but tourism can also play a very negative role by deteriorating the quality.
Obviously, you are absolutely right, Dr. Saab, that we first have to focus to develop Karachi as a green city. In every aspect, not only the industries but also the overall atmosphere of Karachi, and then we have to be in a right position to focus on blue economy. So we have to focus on that. Your point well taken.
Right.
So Moazzam Sahib, we know that WWF Pakistan has an immense effort and role as well in this designation, particularly when we are calling the marine protected area of the Churna Island particularly. So now do you think that it is very important that nationally and internationally we require the cooperation and support it is imperative in a sense to ensure the success of this decision related to the marine protected areas like Astola, the Churna Islands and all others. How do you respond to this?
In addition to WWF, there are other agencies that have played key role. The NCB, which is the National Coordination Body of Pakistan for Mangrove for Future, and IUCN has also played very role, and the Balochistan Forest and Wildlife Department was the key, and they are the one who have taken the lead role in declaring the 2 marine protected area, the only 2 protected areas. So their role should be appreciated. But this particular task is not only the task of these few departments, it is for the whole nation. We have to work towards the conservation of the marine biodiversity in Pakistan, and the declaration of marine protected area is one of the best way of doing it. So having this 2 marine protected area, and there are forthcoming also we are working on getting the Miani Hor and Kalmat Khor and as well as Gatar Bay to be declared, as well as there are also attempts being done for getting more areas in Sindh also. We are working on one of the creek for there. So if these are declared, the protection of biodiversity is necessary, and then we have to involve the lot of other agencies, stakeholders, especially the academia's role, the international collaboration, because of there is an international network of marine protected area. Alignment with them is necessarily required, and this particular 30 to 30 is not restricted for a country. It has to be a global 30 by 30. So any addition that we do it, we need an international cooperation to be part of this global effort. So it is not only the declaration is of national significance, it is of the international significance as well. And we need to declare it and then develop a management plan and implement on it. And I hope that Churna will be in future become a test case where we can protect the environment, provide opportunities to the communities, fishermen communities, and provide an opportunity to be our nascent industry of ecotourism. So it is not being done to control them, it is done to support them. So we need national or international collaboration for management and declaration and study of the marine protected areas.
Definitely, your point well taken. Dr. Fasiha, can we convert the growing marine tourism into the eco-friendly tourism? As being near to Karachi, as we have already discussed, Churna Island is extensively used for the scuba diving, the snorkeling, cliff jumping, jet skiing, and other recreational activities, and even the lots of illegal fishing using the heavy trawlers and the huge ships. Yes. So these are also the sources of destruction for the marine biodiversity, not only at the Churna, but also we are witnessing at Astola as well. Yes. So our marine resources are even most of the times exploited illegally. Yes. By some foreign fishermen as well. So how do you see such a phenomena, and how we can curtail it, and how we can better manage it?
Yes, so I'm going to highlight 2 or 3 points very quickly for this. We have international best practices available for the conservation and management of marine protected areas. So IUCN has developed very good documents for the managers of the protected areas. One thing to consider, as Dr. Moazzam has also said, that we need an integrated coastal management plan which integrates, which has a focus task force which manages the marine protected areas, but also has an integrated and an inclusive approach, and it involves all the related departments which are working on the coast, so that the pollution from cities like Karachi does not affect the areas, marine protected areas. Then we have to identify what sort of activities would be allowed and what sort of activities would not be allowed, keeping in mind the local sensitivities of and local conditions of that area. Another very important thing is the involvement of the local communities over there. So when the local communities are taken into confidence and they are shown that the process is being undertaken to help the coastal communities as well, and they should take the ownership of that area, then the results are very positive. If you see the case of fishermen, they need to realize that about 80% of the fish stock of Pakistan has been depleted, and until and unless they declare some region where the fish need some get some space to reproduce and then recharge their population, it would ultimately help the fishermen out there. So the communities should be involved, as we saw in the mangroves restoration project as well.
Definitely.
Thirdly, there should be inter-provincial coordination as well. Balochistan and Sindh need to coordinate, as the waters have no boundaries and pollution does travel
Definitely, you are absolutely right.
regions.
Absolutely right. Dr. Ejaz sir, how do you see the extensive industrial activities in the coastal areas and the marine vicinity of the Churna Island and all others, even in regarding Astola? Because there are oil refineries at the coastal areas, then we have development of the power plants, then single point mooring like offshore pipeline laying, we have platform developments. Most probably if you have offshore oil or gas reserves, then you will use that. So definitely that must have to be eco-friendly as well. Then the drainage pipelines, you have lots of data cables and the communication systems going from the seabed, and then the different transportation harbors and local coastal communities, then the infrastructure which is mostly used, like you have might be at some time you will develop the Gwadar port, and those waters like Ormara and all others, they are the blue waters really. You have beautiful white sand over there. But when the activities like ports and shipping goes on, then there would be some sort of a issue. So how do you see these all areas to be protected and to be to have a green shipping over there in all others, and even the activities within the open sea and offshore, that must have to be in a sense eco-friendly?
I think, as earlier we discussed, I think the integrated approach is very important. It's not only those activities which you mentioned, we also need to see the development of maybe Gadani area. In those areas, even like the marble factories are like increasing in the vicinity, not exactly close to the hub area, but close by areas. They will have all of them will have some kind of impact, their footprint on the ecology of the marine life. Ultimately they are going to like have impact, but if we develop a comprehensive integrated management plan which should look not only like issues related to Churna Island and the associated areas, but also in the broader sense, as we just mentioned, that water does not have that kind of boundary. So the issues will become more and more. If we control it, this is a very good time to start for the management, and what kind of practices, do's and don'ts, SOPs developed for every initiative. So I think we will be in a much better place to highlight it globally. People will be keen to come and visit and do all those activities which you mentioned in those areas, especially related to corals.
Definitely, definitely. You are absolutely right. Your point well taken. Moazzam Sahab, do you not think that this Balochistan government's vital decision regarding the Churna Island, we are also the signatory of the biological diversity and related Kunming Montreal global biodiversity framework. So this 30%, as you have rightly mentioned, that this is globally by 2030. So whether the federal government and the Sindh government to declare, as you were mentioning about the Miani Hor, the Kalmat Hor, the Creek Hor and all others to be declared as the marine protected areas. So do you think there is a positive movement among the federal government and the Sindh government as well to have some sort of more areas to be marine protected so that we can conserve our precious marine biodiversity?
You are right. There are concern about declaring the areas not only in the coastal area but in the exclusive economic zone of Pakistan. Because even if declare the entire territorial water on which we have sovereign right, it will not serve the purpose because it will not be 30%, it will be much less than, it will be hardly about 5 to 6%. So we have to declare the area in the offshore waters, which is the exclusive economic zone. Rather, there is a new agreement which is called the BBNJ, which is the biodiversity conservation in the area beyond national jurisdiction. So we have to work for those areas also. There was one area declared, but somehow it was shelf, which was the Indus Canyon marine protected area, but there we need to declare some large area in the Indus Delta and in the offshore water of Pakistan, which if these are declared, then possibly we will be able to reach to 30%, and we should be doing it and not restricting it to 30%. Why to 30%? We should be doing a little bit more than that. And if we do it, and this will ensure the protection of the area. One of the points that I would like to point out that with some of the steps we have taken, there is no foreign trawlers or there is no foreign operation in Pakistan since 2005. This is a very good achievement that we have made, and the role of Pakistan Maritime Security has to be lauded because of their efforts. There is no poaching going in Pakistan and no foreign vessel can dare to enter it. And if we declare these of the area in the offshore water, it will be the responsibility of this particular agency, which is possibly the one of the most powerful MCS organization in the Indian Ocean to control it. So we have the infrastructure available for protection of the offshore waters, and we should be doing it very quickly, and the federal government is the custodian proactively doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice of you, Moazzam Sahab, for being with us online. And thank you very much, Dr. Ejaz Sahab. Thank you very much, Dr. Fasiha, for being here in the studios. Viewers, as you have just listened to our panelists, and this is very loud and clear that the Balochistan government is very much eager to implement all these decisions which were taken on 4th of September regarding declaring the marine protected area, the second one of Pakistan, that is the Churna Island, and according to the Wildlife Act, and it will be definitely protected, as rightly said by Sharifuddin Baloch, who is the chief conservator of wildlife Balochistan government. So eco-friendly tourism, sports and all others will be promoted in these areas, but Balochistan government is determined to have registration of all those tour operators, whether from Balochistan, whether from Karachi, and whether from any sort of a tour operator from abroad. So if they want to register, Balochistan government will do that. Along with that, they will give the passes and the permits to all those to have eco-friendly and environment-friendly activities in these biodiversity protected areas. Then obviously, to promote all these areas, there must have to be standard operating procedures, SOPs. Those are very important to protect all these areas. As Moazzam Sahab from WWF Pakistan, he categorically said that there must have to be other areas like Miani Hor, the Kalmat Hor, the Creek Hor, even if we want to be more robust, then exclusive economic zone, including our territorial waters, must have to be included in these marine protected areas. Today, most of the fishermen are saving actually the endangered species like the whale sharks, the dolphins and the green turtles. This is a very great trend, and we all have to save, because these are must have to be saved for our future generation. Arabian Sea has a very special species of humpback whale, so we have that is recovered. That is again a good news. The power plants, oil refineries, the thermal effects of it, and all those polluting activities, particularly the chemical effluents which are straight away dumping into the sea, that is the real concern, and we have to work for it, and we have to convert Karachi and its industrial areas into the green territories. Then the greenhouse gas emissions, the CO2 emissions, they are actually must have to be reduced, and the sustainable use of sustainable use plan must have to be there. Then we have to be very cautious on those marine protected areas. We have to do it, we have to use it, but we have to use it with caution and with environment friendly activities. This is all from today's Foresight. It's time to sign off. Allah Hafiz.